Hello, toy friends. Welcome back. I'm, of course, Will, and this is Will 118. And today I have a very special guest, Carlos from Solid Raven Toys, who is coming out with the new Rise of Nexus 118 scale O-ring figures and tabletop game. Carlos, welcome.
Hi, thank you. How are you?
So happy to have you today. I've been, a big fan of this ever since it's love at first sight for me. The first time I saw one of your prototypes on Instagram, I just, you hit me right where I'm susceptible there, and that is the 118 scale, and furthermore the O-ring action figures. I'm a um, huge fan, and so I was really excited when you reached out to me and offered to send me a little sample, and then furthermore even happier when you agreed to come on and talk about Rise of Nexus. So for anyone that doesn't um, know about Rise of Nexus yet, please, there is a link to Carlos's website, which is Solid Raven Toys, also his Instagram and Twitter or X in the description below. And if one of my awesome moderator friends is here, they could even put it in the chat, and you could click on it and go ahead and give him a follow, because once you see this stuff, you're gonna want to do that. Uh, let's take a quick moment to say hello to everyone who showed up here in the chat. We've got Beta Ray Bob. How's it going, buddy? Scotty, top of the morning to you. And Ian, how you doing, buddy? Andrew Davis. All right, locked and loaded. Audi, what's happening, Audi? Task Force Games. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day weekend to you too. I was afraid like two people would show up today because everyone's busy doing cool stuff on the weekend, but really happy to see everyone here because that's just great. Guys, there was a one other thing I wanted to mention, and I'll explain it real quick. But if you saw the chat there, after today's show, there will be a members only stream that will happen right after it. And so what I have there is a quick reveal and a members only kind of exclusive that I really want to share with you guys. So if you are a channel member, please stick around or jump over to that stream after. And if you're not, please consider joining. It's only $1 and it really helps out. And I'd love to have you. So with that out of the way, let's, I was sorry. The whole purpose of this was I do want to just, YouTube reached out to me and they said they had this new feature which would turn a currently existing live stream into a members only stream, and they wanted to test it on certain channels. So I agreed to test it, but lo and behold, when I started the stream today, or when I followed their instructions, the feature is not active. So I went ahead and created a separate stream. I still have the stuff to show you, and I'm really excited to do that. So, like I said, please consider joining. We will be going live as soon as we end the stream. I'm just going to jump right over and start the other one. Okay. Well, without further ado, we did have a couple other people show up here. We've got Starboy Station. How's it going? Jeff Morris in the house. How you doing, Jeff? Matt Noon, how are you? And all right, so I guess we could get into it. So I guess before we begin, Carlos, tell us a little bit about a little something about yourself. Um,
Let's see. My name is Carlos. I've been a graphic artist for, I'd say, about 25 years. I've jumped around from industries, from like screen printing to fashion design to now I work in manufacturing. Um, I've been involved with toys about like for 12 years now.
okay.
Started off making off customs and then moved on to kind of bigger projects, doing commission work for some artists that I never thought I'd be able to work with in my life. And then I've always grew up with toys, grew up around toys, been fascinated by them. My dad also collects. My dad's obsessed with Batman. He has a
Oh,
huge
great.
Batman collection. Yeah. Uh, but with that, I've always been a fan of G.I. Joe. So when it came down to doing a line, the O-ring just kind of just it just yelled at me. It just said, come here. This is the scale that we're gonna do.
Yeah.
It just has so much nostalgia and just, I mean, they look so cool, especially all the new stuff, all the other 118 companies that are coming out.
Oh,
It's doing
absolutely. Yeah,
such
yeah.
amazing work.
I'm a huge fan, and um, as far as I'm concerned, there can't be. I know some people are like, "Oh, come on, let's modernize the articulation and all this stuff." Hey, you know what? I love the 118 scale. I love the new stuff too, but
Yeah,
nothing for me hits like an O-ring action figure. So,
yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, you can't have too many. But
yeah,
let's take a look at Rise of Nexus. So, Kickstarter's coming soon. This is you're still in the preliminary stages. But what I really like is that you've got kind of fully painted models. You've really hashed out, the initial figures there. Um, and they're not just renders. You have actual physical,
yeah. These are actual samples from China, from the factory. We've been working with them for um, pretty much started at the end of last year, and then just got these maybe about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months now. I
okay,
put them away because I don't want them. They're very the paint rubs off really quick or scratches off really
sure.
easily. So just trying to hold on to them for Joe Fest or even Joe. I know I'm definitely going to have a booth at Joe Lanta. I will not have one at Joe Fest, unfortunately. Yeah, those, yes. Uh, but
So yeah, I did hear you, or I saw a comment you made where you said you might have a like a portable booth, a push cart of
I mean,
sorts.
I'm like whatever works, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
like why not? Like if I could walk around with a suitcase, why can't I make that into like a little
sure, sure.
table? You
Like
know,
one of those
so
old like traveling merchants of yore,
yeah.
or
Or
yeah,
like one a mailroom cart, just like
yeah,
push it
yeah.
along. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I come
I'm
up with.
sure there's a lot of buddies at Joe Fest or going to Joe Fest, and I'm sure someone will say, "Hey, you could have a little corner of my table and set up your guys or something." Um,
That's the hope. Yeah, I'm hoping for
yeah,
that. I have not. I mean, everybody that I've spoken to either, has like a full table. They don't have enough space, which I understand. I'm not trying to put anybody out or anything like that. So,
no, of course,
but
but
if anybody
I'm sure
does,
some.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. If anyone's got a corner of a table or a little bit of space, please consider giving Rise and Nexus. You know, hey, he might even hook you up there. But so this comes directly from the Solid Raven website, and I just blew it up here so we could see it on screen. And Carlos, if you wanted to, the folks at home, they could read about this, or maybe you could explain what's
yeah,
over here in the slide.
yeah. So Rise of Nexus first is a tabletop game, which I know I have not shown that off yet. Because it's still kind of in development. The rules are finished, everything's pretty much done, but just trying to hold that off for later because I want to get it right.
Sure.
Done a lot of play testing. My son's friends have come over, they played with it, they've had fun with it. Um, but I had to, like we were talking earlier, when I was creating a tabletop game that plays with action figures or with your own collection, it would be kind of weird to not have an action figure line go with the tabletop game. So that's kind of where this line came from. And I want to push that first before the tabletop game because they don't necessarily need each other. They can live with, the tabletop can be its own thing and the figures can be its own thing, but you know, eventually
Yeah,
we will bring them
sure, sure.
together.
You don't have to be into one to be into the other, but they definitely kind of complement each other. So that's
Exactly, yeah.
wonderful. Yeah, I just want to say hi to Embargo. He's here. He loves the 118 scale O-ring stuff too. He's been doing some wonderful videos on some of the more obscure kind of off-brand 118 scale O-ring figures of the
Yeah.
late 80s, early 90s, and I think even into the 2000s. But he just did one on the Leonard. What was it called? Space Force or Laser Force? I forget what they call it, but they had a space shuttle complex, and it was just a really great video. So yeah, be sure to check out Embargo stuff because he is finding the really kind of obscure ones and bringing them to
Awesome.
light, which I really like. And I'm sure Embargo could, attest to this. But once he puts out that video, man, every Star Force Launch Command. There you go. Thank you,
Oh
buddy.
yeah.
um,
Awesome.
once he puts the video out, though, everyone's going to be clamoring for them. There's a couple of there's a couple of figure lines when he was talking about the impact guys. I went on eBay right away and bought them. Because they're just so cool looking. But yeah, very cool. So yeah, Rise of Nexus is a fast-paced, grid-based tabletop game where action figures come to life in tactical PvP combat. You can build a squad, choose your loadouts, and engage in explosive missions across war-torn cityscapes and alien arenas. Designed for all skill levels, the game features very simple rules and a deep strategy and replayability. So that's the thing too. It's not too complicated. It's not going to be too hard to get into. What would you
Yeah.
say, like, or just kind of a layman you're teaching, your kids to play,
I would say so. The goal was to definitely make it very, easy to get into and not too
yeah.
complicated. Because
So you're
that's one of the
playing
things about,
within like an hour
yeah.
of, you know,
I'm hoping even battles could be anywhere between 30 minutes, maybe even shorter to about an hour. So you can, go from one to the next one if you want, or you
yeah.
just want to show it
Well,
off
that's
to a
the thing
buddy.
too, is like, when we were kids, I would go over to my friend's house with a box of Joes and we'd set up this epic
Mhm.
battle with rules that were just kind of pulled right out of our backside.
Right. Yeah.
But we'd spend, 85% of the time setting up, maybe 10 more percent of the
Yeah.
time arguing about it. And then like the battle would be over in 5 minutes, the last
Right.
5%.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, then we'd
Yeah.
argue for the next hour about whose was whose. And, it was time to
Yeah.
go home. But,
And
uh,
the tabletop idea came from that. It came from playing with my son with the
yeah,
action figures, and he would come up with all these ridiculous rules. Because I grew up an only child, so I made up my own rules and whatever. But so playing with him, it was very video game adjacent, but very just it was ridiculous. And I was like, well, maybe this is how kids play nowadays. So,
yeah.
and we started kind of working together on it, and
My
now we're
experience
here.
with kids is mostly the rule is, from their perspective, I win. They
Yeah,
just win
yeah, yeah,
no
yeah,
matter what,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
still,
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
each Rise of Nexus figure is going to be a premium limited run collectible, fully compatible with tabletop system. Every character includes unique stats, abilities, and backstory, making them essential both on the battlefield and in your collection. So
Yeah.
very cool. Let's take a look at some of this beautiful card art that you put together. And you went ahead and you even did some mock-ups where you have the cards, right? And I could, if you have them there with you, I could blow them up, or I could show you this nice box that Carlos was nice enough to share with me. And I do want to remind you guys. So you see this box real quick. Carlos, let's talk real quick about the
Yeah. Yeah.
giveaway you're running, because it is a box just like this, but with even more. And that's over on your Instagram. And remember, the Instagram link is in the description below. But you want to go over to Carlos's Instagram. You want to like Rise of Nexus, follow them, and tag two friends in the comments to enter, right?
Oh, you can tag one, but
Oh,
two is great. Yeah,
tag
one is
five.
yeah.
You got to tag
That's
five
awesome.
to enter. Um,
Okay.
and what would they get when they get that, Carlos?
So they get basically they get it's a preview box is what I'm calling it, a 2025 preview box of what's inside of Wave One, which is which is a full set of the Wave One figures in prototype format. So they're not painted. But we'll get to those. You'll also get, which I have the box here, by the way. I One of the things I loved about O-rings and GI Joe growing up was the pamphlets inside the figures.
Yeah, let me
That
take
came
a
with
look at.
the figure with the vehicles or the figures or whatever. So I came up with my own, which kind of just shows you fully painted
Okay,
figures, what they
I
look like.
love that because that was one of my favorite things about GI Joe and many toy lines was the brochure that comes with all the figures that you
Yeah,
could get
yeah,
with that beautiful photography. I mean, it just hits me in the nostalgia feels there, but it's just such a cool thing, and I know that was probably not easy to make. A lot of people could cut corners and not do something like that, but that is really cool. So I got the little pack here as
yeah.
well.
You got a little package there, and then the back there's a teaser, which I'll just tell, but it's a two characters from Wave Two, which I haven't really shown off yet. And then you also get the set of trading cards. It's four trading cards. featuring the characters from Wave One.
Very good. Now, those trading cards I saw on a picture on your Instagram, um, are those the ones with the stats on the backside or?
These are not. So the
Oh,
stuff
okay,
you saw
okay,
with the stats, that would be for the tabletop game, and those were
gotcha.
prototypes that I was working
Okay,
on.
okay,
Yeah. These are more promotional trading cards. Show off the
yeah.
characters. Um,
And you sent me this one here, and I'll just
yes.
show that beautiful card art with the cross sell. It's got some of the other characters. Really nice, thick card back you picked here, and the artwork is just beautiful. Now you did hand mount all of these, and I didn't want
Yeah.
to rip into it until the stream because um, yeah.
You should be able to pop it up with no issue, but yeah,
Yep.
in
I see
theory.
you use
On
those
the,
little dots there and it comes right off.
yeah.
But you were nice enough to send me this one, which is the Wolf Pack action figure. And coincidentally, he was also my favorite. And I didn't
Oh,
tell you.
awesome.
So we have a psychic link there. And this was wonderfully printed by Level 7 Toys, right?
Yeah, exactly. And actually, that the box, the contest on Instagram, includes three of his prints, which are G.I. Joe adjacent. You know, that's Storm Shadow, or a not Storm Shadow, a not
Yeah.
Snake Eyes, and a not Silver Trooper, right? So
Yeah, so
these
this
are
was just
also
the
from him.
one. If you win that contest or that giveaway, you'll get, was it 4 plus? You said.
You get the whole set, yeah, of the Rise of Nexus prototypes. You get the entire set, which are in this box, fully carded. You can, like I said, you can take them out. They are prototypes, so you know if you want them to last, definitely
Yeah,
don't
and
ship them across the room.
I'm gonna attempt a paint job on him.
Cool. Yeah. Go
If it
for
doesn't
it.
work out, I'm not gonna show it. But uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll
I mean,
just do
whatever you want to do,
whatever.
you want to you want to sell it. That's cool too. I
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
get it so, but
And
and
Vargo saying the card art is awesome. Thank you. And then
thank you.
also look at this. And Vargo, Wolfpack's his favorite too. So yeah, see, I hope you're going to Joe Fest, Mr. Vargo. I'd love to see you there. That'd be great. And yeah, there
So
he is,
I
fully
lost.
painted.
Funny story. I lost his holster on his
Oh, okay.
that set.
And
Yeah.
that pegs right in there.
Yeah,
Um,
it just pops right in there, comes right off, and then the firearm itself. Let me see if I can show you on a figure. So like here on Night Owl, uh, the
ooh,
pistol is
working
removable.
holster on an O-ring
Yep,
figure. That is
yep. I
something.
remember that playing with my cousins and seeing the sidearms on there. I was like, man, I wish we could take these out so we would pretend that they would run out
Yeah.
of ammo and then have to pull out their sidearm. And
I missed this one, but
uh,
Starboy saying that pamphlet is just perfect.
thank you. Yeah, I thought about
And
what I loved growing up, like the little
yeah.
things.
What's in the
Uh,
bag here on the card art? I didn't open that up. Is
I
that just
think I put the weapons. I put the
okay?
weapons in there.
That's
Yeah,
the
just to
weapons.
kind
Oh
of.
yeah, I see
Yeah,
that. You have a nice backpack and a weapon. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, that is wonderful. Well, thank you so much for this, Carlos. I really do
Of
appreciate it.
course.
Um,
Yeah,
I'm probably actually I probably won't paint them. I'll put them back on the card and keep them in my collection because I'll be
100%.
getting the real one when it comes out. But
Yeah.
yeah, it really means a lot to me. I really I do like that. Um, and so guys, go over to his Instagram, follow the directions, and if one of you guys could just put a link to that in the chat, that'd be great. If not, I could even do it. Um, let me see. Does this work? Let's see. Bump, bump, paste. Let's see. Does that work? Because that's a link to his Instagram. You can go right over there. Zazel, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Um, all right. And moving on here. So we have our first two characters. Here's some just card art mock-ups that you did. And Carlos has the paint masters there too. So I think what we'll do is after we talk about them a little bit, yeah, I'll bring them up and you could I'll make you real big there and
Awesome.
people could see that. If you want to go ahead and hold up that figure again or see if you could just show people that really
Yeah.
nice.
So the image doesn't show the soft goods. He comes with soft goods. Um, And also, what I love about Sleepwalker is that his face mask is removable.
Oh, I did not know that. That is awesome. Okay. Oh, he looks like someone who
He
that
looks
face
familiar,
sculpt.
right?
He looks like someone who is into dealing out punishment.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, he looks familiar.
very,
Yeah.
very similar. Yeah.
That was
Very
when I
cool.
came up, yeah, when I came up with the characters, I was imagining who would star in the movie also, if there ever was a movie.
Yeah.
So,
Soft goods and a removable mask. Excellent. Top notch. And I got to give you props for that working holster too. So uh
oh yeah,
in the first one here, and yes, some of these characters are reminiscent or probably I would say homages to your favorite characters because we all know that um, you know, a badass ninja with an eye patch, we might know one in
yeah,
popular culture.
we might have
And
heard of one. Yeah, this would be maybe like an older, rougher version of
sure.
who we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And his name is
yeah,
it's Seiko?
Seiko.
Seiko.
Yeah, Seiko. Yeah, call him
Seiko, okay.
Seiko. Yeah,
And I think Beta Ray Bob said that's his favorite. So he's been
yeah,
eyeing him since for a while there.
yeah.
And
And yeah, if everything looks kind of familiar, it was done by design because really that's kind of, I'm coming out of nowhere with a O-ring line. You've never heard of me,
sure.
you've never heard of my
Well,
company.
I think there's nothing wrong with that because, these are designs that inspired you and then you made them your own. So it's not just like,
Yeah,
you know, 100%.
they're not gonna stay up.
Then you've got
Put them
the
down.
Wolf Pack and Night Owl.
Yeah, yeah, Wolfpack and Night Owl.
And
Uh,
yeah, let me blow you up for those real quick. And there's Wolfpack. That's the
and
main
we the so the face the paint on the face was done at the factory, which they agreed over there, and I agreed as well that it wasn't the best job. So we ended up removing the mic from his face, so detaching it from his face, so it's easier to paint
okay.
on there. So those are still things that we're trying to work through. Still things we're improve on the figures.
Yeah.
But as far as these samples, they feel great, so much so that I'm almost scared to move the joints because of how tight they are. But they look and feel amazing.
Yeah, they do. They look great. So let me go back to that. So yeah, we've got Wolfpack, Night Owl. Those are the first four. Uh,
Yeah.
we've got some really nice file cards that you've posted up on the website, and yeah, I'm not going to read them all to you guys. You could always pause this and take a look. Unless Carlos, was there anything you wanted to mention? Just um, about the file
Um,
cards and the histories.
they might change a little bit once we
Okay,
start writing the story down. Things might, you know, not be exactly the same, but for the most part, yeah. I mean, the story is not really a story about good guys versus bad guys, and you'll see that once everything's revealed. But you know,
gotcha. And I see the Team Bravo designation on the bottom of each card, and it looks like this initial wave of four figures are all part of the same team.
yeah, for now, that's how I'm setting it. I don't think it's going to change, but yeah, we'll leave it like that, and then like I said, once we get to the story part, things might change. I don't know. I don't know yet. We're still working on
Gotcha.
that.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have plans to do like a comic book. As much as I'd love to do a comic book, I don't have, it's hard finding an artist and a writer too. And
It
then
is.
also,
It is. I know several other indie toy lines kind of in recent history, have gone the route of a comic book. And, and in some cases they said it was kind of absolutely a loss,
yeah,
upon doing it, but it was good to get it out there to get the story out. And if
yeah,
you could find a good writer or an artist, digital distribution is a great way to put that out for
yeah,
free. Call sign Longbow's got the first issue, I think, free on their website.
yeah,
Um, Also, we've got Delta 17 has their comic
yeah.
first issue out, and that's a great way to do it. Holy crap! Looks like Zazel's Clubhouse gifted 5 Wilhelm Toy and Hobby memberships. So thank you so much, Zazel. That's awesome. Thank you. So I can't see who got those, but I hope that if you did get one of those memberships, thank you so much again, Zazel. That's really nice. And I hope you'll stick around. The after show is not going to be that long, so I'm not going to keep you guys from your weekend plans. It's just some stuff I wanted to share with you. So thank you so much. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Wraith Mace, what's up? Hammer time. Wraith Mace has the best. He is probably the enthusiast as far as it goes with the Warhammer 40K, and I think I saw in the last one was Warhammer 30K.
Awesome.
The Joy Toy 118 scale Warhammer stuff is just absolutely beautiful. It's a rabbit hole I have not gone down yet. I live vicariously through Wraith Mace, but this guy's a freaking maniac when it comes to these. He's got them all, and he does live streams and video reviews of them, and I absolutely
Awesome.
just love them. They're just wonderful. So thank you so much, Wraith Mace. And Wraith Mace has become a channel member. Thanks again, buddy. It's awesome. Uh, so thanks, Ace. Oh, you got to go. Heading to Japan before RonCon and Joe Fest. Have a great show. Well, safe travels, and I can't wait to see you in Joe Fest, my friend. Safe travels. Can't wait. Uh, don't eat the beef jerky, the gas station beef jerky after getting off the plane. Zazel visited us back in 2023, and he had a bit of a digestion issue from
Oh man,
eating
yeah.
some gas station jerky. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great. Japan. He's just a world traveler, so that's excellent. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. So here's just some close-up pictures from your website, and these are the paint masters. If or
Yeah, these are the same ones. Yeah, these are what I have here. Yeah,
yeah,
these are the
this will just
same.
give you guys a nice,
Yeah,
clear look at them with
yeah,
nice lighting. And I thought it would be nice
yeah.
to just pull them up this way.
It, this paint color changed because it was too. Yeah, I didn't want it that brown. Ended up
Oh yeah, I
getting
see
more.
that. Yeah. So
Uh,
okay, very cool. And Vargo, well, thank you so much for becoming a channel member, Mr. Vargo. I appreciate it, and please stick around because I really do want to share with you guys after the show. It's going to be real fun. Um, Zaymont Rogue, how's it going, buddy? And if you are a channel member and you can't stay for the after show, I'll still leave it posted there so you could always watch it on a replay. But here, Sleepwalker again. Any color changes here or no? Still the same, right?
Pretty much, I think one of the greens, like the greens that are on the pants, I think became a little lighter, if I remember correctly. But yeah, not too many changes
Yeah.
as far as colors, um, since these originally were shown off.
How do you
But
find
I'm
working with the factories to like kind of tweak those things? Is that kind of an overwhelming part of the process, or
It's exciting, actually. No, it's
yeah,
it's super. Every time I get it, it's like getting an email from like a new girlfriend or something. It's like, oh, they emailed me because it's hard to believe that it's that I'm working with a factory. So
there's
that
so
part is
many options too, right? I bet
yeah.
you.
There's so many. This one was actually recommended by somebody that's already has produced toys before. I'm super grateful to them. They didn't have to share that info with me, but yeah, this factory is awesome. Sometimes there's a bit of miscommunication, but nothing major to where it would cause issues. And they're like on top of me almost. They're always like, "Hey, can you get back to us?" And sometimes I'm like, "Well, I can't. I have a full-time job, so I can't always like I can't always be on top of everything." But yeah, they're awesome. I love working with them.
Well, that's just great, and I got to say these look fantastic. One thing I wanted to ask you about, and I don't see it here in these slides or these four figures, was um, I noticed on one of your figures, and I'll just I'll leave this up here, was in some of the new O-ring lines, like Delta 17, for example, they stuck with a very traditional kind of O-ring, kind of really kept the aesthetics very GI Joe like. Strike Force Alpha went with their pop and swap
Mhm.
technology. They kind of added their own little twist to it. Call Sign Longbow seems to be going more like the Delta 17 route,
Mhm.
and Operation Recall. while they're also adding wrist swivel, they're keeping it kind of very Joe centric in the way that they're doing that. For your figures, I noticed on one of the photos ankle articulation.
Yeah, so Sleepwalker has ankle articulation. That was because that was the first one sculpted, and when was working with the digital artist, he asked like, "Do you want the ankles to move?" I was like, "Sure, why would I not want them to move?" But I
Yeah.
think going back to it and then having worked on the other three, I'm kind of scared to move this one because I don't know if the factory glued it or
Okay.
not. But yeah, you can kind of see it there.
Yeah, I
The
see that
articulation's there.
it's in there, and
Yeah.
yeah, I understand an additional point of articulation is also an additional weak point, or could be a weak point.
Yeah, it could be
Uh,
a weak point. I mean, right now, some of the 3D prints, I had lost some of the feet, so that already, but we're not going to go because that's a 3D print. That's something completely different. But the ones that I had printed originally myself, those were fine. Um, I don't know. I want to give them all the bells and whistles, and give them a little more
sure. Are
modernization.
you
I
going to
think
go
we'll.
with the wrists on those?
So yeah, and that's kind of like there isn't a consistency throughout the four figures. Like for example, Seiko and Sleepwalker have the wrist articulation, um, and- but uh, but Wolfpack and Night Owl do not have the
Yeah.
wrist articulation. Um, and I imagine this we didn't put the ankle articulation here was just because of the design. It would look kind of weird if
Sure.
we added it. But yeah, they're not the first wave isn't consistent, I guess, as far as all the articulation, but definitely has
Okay.
the feel and look of the original
Yeah.
G.I. Joe figures.
I guess Scotty says ankles scare him. Peg leg, common rider,
Yeah,
and link figures in the crate. I do remember when GI Joe first kind of changed up their figure construction, kind of late 2000 aughts, I guess. Um, I've got a bunch of their figures where the feet and the hands fell out. Like
yeah,
I've got a couple figures that are just walking around with no hands and no legs because
uh,
they were experimenting with it, but they didn't quite have it right.
yeah,
Speaking of 3D prints, I'm just going to shout out Level 7 Toys here because they went ahead and printed your prototypes for you, or some of those
yeah.
prototypes for you. Wonderful company. They'll be at Joe Fest as well. So go check out Level 7 Toys. And on this one, these are just two figures I bought from them. They make a whole variety of figures, but I bought the Mando and the Tomb Raider here. But the Mando has ankle articulation, and it's pretty good. I don't have any photos of it flexing right now, but it came out pretty well, and so I wouldn't really be scared of that. And then if you follow Level 7 Toys, you'll see that they did this really nice post too. This is his Batman figure, and his body construction here is his proprietary one that he's doing, his After Earth series. This is his buck. He's been working on this for a few years now, right? His you know,
I believe so. So I know he prints stuff for so like the artist that worked on the Rise of Nexus stuff. Stefan, his name is Stefan. He did these also, like the ones that Level 7 prints too. So I know they have some type
okay.
of deal going on. But yeah, this Batman figure looks incredible. Yeah,
But that
so
Batman figure looks
yeah,
amazing, and that's going to
the
be
knees.
first available at Joe Fest. So it'll be a Joe Fest exclusive, and then it'll move over to his website later on. And
Yeah,
there is a link to Level 7 Toys in the description below. And I will just note that he does have his store closed through Joe Fest. So after Joe Fest, things will be available on his site. But in anticipation, I guess, in preparing for Joe Fest, he has closed his store. So if you go to the link and you see that the shop's not open, don't worry about it. Hang out, follow him on Instagram, and after Joe Fest, go ahead and order some stuff up there.
yeah. Dennis is awesome from Level 7. He's super cool. Uh,
Yeah,
can't wait to
that
meet
is.
him at Joe Fest.
Yeah, I love it. And well, is there anything else questions from the audience. Any of you guys in the audience? I know we got some pirate jokes going on here, but they don't have anything to do with this. But anything from you guys in the audience about Rise of Nexus that Carlos can answer for you right now? Things that you're interested in, or while he's in this. So you're in early stages of the process. You have some stuff locked down, but not everything. So um, if any of you guys have any suggestions, or even just concerns, now's a good time to bring them up. Toy Connections, how you doing, Ken? Very nice to see you.
Yeah, I mean, really just at this point, we're trying to get the word out there, just trying to get it, get it as many people just to know about the line. It's a slow climb. Yeah, I think we're shooting for September. That's kind of what I said the other day. Maybe
Okay.
beginning of September and then run through Joanna. I
Yeah.
believe fall is not the best time to do a Kickstarter, but I think I'm going to shoot for it anyways.
Yeah. So, Carlos, what I recommend is you get an overcoat, right? And you line the inside with action figures. And while you're at Joe Fest,
Yes.
you just go ahead and you do one
I
of
like that.
these and you
I
show
like
them off,
that.
because I have a feeling that when people see these in person, it's really going to boost those numbers. So, you're probably going to be giving out a lot of cards and, a lot of getting a lot of activity or follows after that. Quite
Yeah.
frankly, I was telling Carlos before the show that, the thumbnail just for this video, when I posted on Instagram, got a ton more traffic than my normal boring, 118 me jabbering about them things. So there is a really good interest in the rise of Nexus. So everything from, like I said, the aesthetics, the designs, and it just looks great.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank
see.
you. I mean, I've gotten a lot of great feedback, but you still, as a human, you still kind of like, well, do people really like these or not? You kind of, but yeah, I mean, that's,
Sure. Here's a good
yes,
question
yes,
from
there is.
Scotty, female
Yeah,
women.
wave two. Yeah, wave two. We have a female character, and then another one in the works for if we ever get to a wave three. But yeah, we'll probably start showing them off. But between here and Chill Fest, we'll start showing off. Well,
Okay.
wave two. So yeah,
The
surprising. I
brides
love
of
it.
Nexus. Yeah, like that. Like
Yeah,
that.
let's do that.
Okay. And Ken
Yeah.
saying September's not bad.
Okay.
Skeletron
Cool.
Grand Airs in October
Yeah.
2021. So it's a good season to start, as it's way before Christmas shopping begins.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's kind of what we're shooting for. Yeah. So hopefully, so fingers crossed.
Well, great. And I would just say, some of my concerns, and I brought these up for you, was just that, I hear this just from other people, and it's not, personally against Rise of Nexus, but it's just I hear, oh, another Kickstarter. And there's
Yeah.
been some kind of Kickstarter, not like horror stories. I mean, it goes everywhere from horror stories to, wonderful, stories. But one of my biggest things is I feel like maybe some of the companies out there, and these are companies I've backed, um, were a little too ambitious, where they've got a wave of, I think,
Yeah.
let's say Marauders with their Vietnam wave, where it bloated up to over 30. Bjorn would know 40 figures, and it's going to take from now till infinity to come out.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
some of these others, one where his initial 18-month wait, and now we're waiting 3 or 4 years. And like I said, I know there's reasons behind that, but I think for the customer, maybe they want to see like maybe a wave of 4 to 6 or 8
Mhm.
figures, and have a quick enough turnaround time that they could get them in hand, enjoy them, and then that'll build momentum towards future waves.
Yeah, 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 exactly. It's nothing against the other lines. I mean, kind of being the last guy, the last guy in line kind of helps seeing what everybody did, whether, so that helps. I mean, right now I only have 8 characters. There are other ones, but those aren't set in stone. Um, if we just fund the first four, that'd be amazing, if we can do the next four stretch goals, but I don't want to bloat the Kickstarter with too many things. It's basically just the figures, um, you know, maybe
Yeah.
some trading cards and stuff like that, but
Oh yeah.
nothing.
No,
Just
no, that's
just
great.
focus on the figures.
Yeah. So is it
Um,
about Rogue saying he's not into O-rings anymore? However, just something I preach to every toy maker I get to speak to. left-handed character with a drop
All right.
leg, legitimate southpaw. None of that ambidextrous, whatever. Okay,
All
all
right.
right,
Noted.
very cool.
Noted.
Uh, and Andrew Davis with a Hulit Cannon here. Oh my God! All right, Andrew. So next time you lock your windows, Andrew. Okay, all right. These guys going at it with each other. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I'll definitely be backing it when it goes live. So I'd like
Thank you.
to let you know that, and the fact that it's not too many is appealing to me because if it was if you were doing 18 figures or even 12 figures, I might say I'll back a few of my favorites, but I don't know if I could go all
Yeah,
in.
yeah. Yeah, and I understand why they do that. Obviously, they're trying to get the best price, the best price possible, I
Of
guess, at
course,
their end. So yeah, you do what you can. I mean, well, I'm gonna, like I said, with the way things are now, it's not like this is gonna be super profitable in the end, anyways. But
it's a
we'll see. We'll
passion
work it out.
project. It's not
Yeah.
something that you know you could put the same amount of effort and probably open a food truck and make more
Right.
money or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
this is what you're passionate about. This is the thing you
Yeah.
like, and I'm a huge fan and supporter of independent creators kind of realizing their dream and making something that started up in here reality. So that's one of the things that to me that's the dream. And if I could
Yeah.
help others accomplish that, then it really makes me feel good too. So um, with that, I do want to remind everyone to please go over to the Rise of Nexus Instagram and follow that giveaway because that ends next Saturday, I believe, right?
Yeah. The end of the month. Yeah. End of the month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's next Saturday. You have until next Saturday and share it with your friends. We really want to get the word out and try to make this as successful as it possibly can be. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Go
what
on the
about Gatorade
website
Bob?
too.
Yeah, he'll be in for the Kickstarter.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. The website, solidraven.com, there's a place you can sign up for the email there.
Yeah, and
And
I'll
if
drop
not,
that.
you can go, yeah, on the Instagram at Rise of Nexus. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drop that in the boop. There you go. That's the Solid Raven website, guys. So you could click on that and enter your email address and follow the newsletter, so you'll be informed when the future steps come up. But with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and we'll end it and jump right over, or I'll jump right over. Carlos, I think you've got stuff to do, so this is where he leaves us. If you have any
Thank
questions,
you,
let me
guys.
know. You could always comment below, after the fact if you're watching this on replay, or like I said, just reach out to Carlos over on his website or on Instagram with any questions you have. I want to thank you so very much, Carlos, for coming on and sharing your Sunday with me and talking about this beautiful thing you've created. Um,
Thank you.
I want to thank everyone at home watching. And once again, all you channel members, I will see you in about just a couple minutes. So as soon as I drop this, I'm going to do it. You should see the the live stream linked. So with that, I will say have a great day, everyone. Talk to you
Thank you,
soon.
guys. Bye-bye.